Just making sure the audio easy.
All right, we got the clapping.
Yeah.
Where'd it go?
All right. Welcome to my time capsule.
Thank you for
I'm your
having
host,
me.
Martin. And you are my third guest.
Yep.
My great cousin, Cameron Chase DeClerq.
Yes, I am.
Welcome. So yeah.
Yeah.
We just watched the short film that you assisted with, and I worked on with my last guest, Hayden.
Yeah, Luna's Box.
So how'd you feel about it?
Definitely, usually being in my TV class, when I've helped out and stuff before, it hasn't, came out as good as that did. Because, the people just don't have the same kind of vision. Usually it's, some kind of simple, trailer. But that was, really nice to see.
Yeah, it was nice. It was our first project where we had boom mics, we had a 4K camera, we had crew, we had actors. It was just a real production because, you know us, we've worked on stuff our whole lives.
Yeah.
We worked on things since the 3DS's.
Yeah,
just
we've been
Papa's upstairs,
dude,
just being goofs.
We were just doing stop motion at first. And then we used to watch Rhett and Link a lot, at that time. So we did a lot of backwards videos.
Dude,
because of the backwards music video.
That's wwhy I love this podcast, because it brings back old memories that I don't think about. That was a great one.
Dude, there was one time we packed Max underneath the bed, and we put a bunch of blankets on him, and then he crawled out like a worm.
Dude,
and then we made a pyramid on top of one of us.
That just brought back so many memories.
You really didn't remember that?
We've done so many of those videos.
Yeah.
If you don't know what we're talking about when Rhett and Link did, what was their video called? Pillow. It was with pillows, and they just did the whole thing backwards.
Yeah.
So we did a ton of those. We would just freak out and do crazy stuff, throw pillows, and then it would all go crazy in reverse on the 3DS.
Yeah, and then you whip a blanket around, it looks like it's trying to eat you.
Yeah, eat you. Oh my god. That's so funny. And I actually remember the first stop motion I did at your house.
Mm-hmm.
It was on a Guinness World Record book with one Lego character.
Yeah,
facts.
facts.
And he just walks.
Yeah, no, we had that set up in the corner of my room because of I just found this out. Because I was just messing around with different settings on the 3DS.
Yeah.
And I was like...
Oh, yeah, did I say GoPro by accident?
No, you said 3DS.
Oh, okay.
What was it? I was messing around with different settings, and I accidentally, stop motion max. And then I realized what, stop motion was supposed to be. So then we set up, my little paint box in the corner and put the Guinness World Record book on it.
Yeah.
Kind of messed around with it.
That was a great discovery.
Yeah.
It was so fun. Stop motion was always fun for us. We'd always go off with that. What else? We did the crazy videos at Papa's where we just were yelling and being goofs upstairs.
Martin Cameron show.
Yeah. And then we did, what did we move on to? Because we've always been the kids, I don't know if it was our generation or just us, who we just had 10 YouTube channels each.
Well, yeah. No,
so many YouTube channels because we were always making content. None of it went anywhere.
Well, yeah, because we didn't stick with it long enough. Because every time we'd start getting some kind of traction, we'd be like, I have a new idea. Then we'd make a whole new channel for that new idea.
True. And we were never very consistent. We were just all over the place. And that's something Hayden actually brought up last podcast, was that one of the main reasons a lot of our projects started out really good and wrapped up bad was because we were so young, we always had to go home.
Yeah.
So I'd be sleeping over at your house, and we'd be like, all right, my parents are coming to pick me up tomorrow. We got to finish this up. So we'd finish up some crap really quick.
You'd hurry rather than taking the time.
Yeah. Because it would be weeks and weeks until we'd see each other again.
Exactly.
You know? So you're like, we got to finish.
And then by that point, since we were kids, you wouldn't even think about wearing the same outfit. Yeah. So then continuity would be kind of messed up.
We would just be on a whole different page, whole different lifestyle.
Those were good times, though.
What's the funny thing is I don't remember any of the middle ground. I just remember the fun parts. I don't
really?
Remember what we would do. I don't even remember in between hanging out with you. I just always remember hanging out. I guess I was probably at school and things like that.
Well, yeah, because everything else is kind of it's not that big or not that important, you know?
School was a big blur nowadays. Now that I think back to it, most of it was pretty blurry. It was just so consistent.
Yeah, I kind of feel that.
All meshed together. I have the couple days I remember, but most of it's just a mesh.
It was such a specific routine, and you didn't want to remember any of it.
Yeah.
You just kind of got through it as fast as you could.
Yeah.
And now we're both out.
But speaking about being out, so you're about to go to college.
Well, yeah, no, I'm about to go back.
And you probably don't you want to remember that. You don't
want to
remember that. So, what is it? What are you going for now?
Computer hardware engineering.
And then a minor in film, right?
Yeah, I'm going to try to minor in film. And even if I can't do that, I'm going to join film clubs and stuff. So
I want to realm.
Yeah. Because I still want to see if I can try to, make my way up a ladder in film.
Dude, I mean,
we'll see how that goes.
That's Hayden's goal. Stay close.
Well, Hayden's making all of he's like fully committed.
Yeah.
He's moving out to New York.
I'm just saying stay close because, you guys can work together someday.
Oh, yeah. I think
you're part of the crew.
After Amherst, it's only a 4-year thing I'm doing. I'm probably gonna get my bachelor's.
Before it could be more. Sometimes college takes you places.
Well, I could be well, if it was just specifically college, I could try to get my master's after that and a graduate's degree.
Yeah.
But I don't even know the first 2 things about computer science or computer hardware engineering. I just know it sounds cool.
Yeah.
So.
I mean, as long as you're interested, as long as you wake up and you're like, I want to learn this, I want to learn that.
Yeah.
But what's your mindset on college? Because everyone has a mindset. What do you think when you're like, all right, I'm going to college, I'm going to do this, I'm going to do this?
My mindset's been changing so much recently.
How so?
Not
Now tell me the first mindset and how it changed.
Right, so the first mindset was before it was really real. I was like, dang, okay, I'm gonna go to college.
Yeah.
I'm gonna be living with someone in the same room for the first time in my entire life.
Yeah.
Because I've had my own room my entire life.
Yeah. And
we're gonna be crammed into a room smaller than my current bedroom.
Hey, you might hate him at some point.
Yeah, no, but that's just how it is.
Not in a long-term hate, but you might. One day you might just be having a bad day. You walk in, you're like, why is that shirt always there? Move the shirt.
Bro, I'm going to take a piece of tape. I'm going to split our room down the half. I'm going to put it on the TV if you don't stop it.
Yeah. And because it's one of your best friends that you're living with, right?
Yeah,
so yeah. That's intense.
Known him since kindergarten, but it wasn't a best friend since kindergarten kind of thing. It's I sat down on the bus because I had friends from preschool.
Yeah.
Preschool that I was trying to sit with, but their seat was full. So I just sat down, and then some other kids kind of started sitting with me, and Mike was one of those kids.
Yeah.
So he was like, okay, I'm going to find a seat here. And we just kind of hung out that year. Didn't really talk first grade. Second grade, I remember, we weren't wicked close friends, but we talked. Mm. And I was I was in the desk in front of Mike one time. It was with my friend John Lewandowski. And I turned around, they were like, we're best friends. I'm like, can I be best friends? They were like, no, we can only have 2 best friends.
Dude, not to go on a tangent, but you just brought up such a funny topic, is bus friends hit different, dude. I've had throughout the years so many bus friends where they were specifically kids that you just became homeboys with because of that bus ride.
Yeah, no, I know what you mean.
There was generations, so there was a little, first grade to third grade, I think it was, or one of those early grades. I had this one kid, Thomas. He was the homeboy for a minute.
Yeah.
And then it moved on to a different set of kids. It was this kid, Mike, who would sit next to me, and these other kids across would be Sean, and I think his name was Jason or something.
Yeah.
And that group ended up going crazy. We made Harlem Shake videos while we were on the bus.
Yo, I remember those.
Like that.
Yeah.
So we were crazy. And it's just funny that there's this whole breed of bus friends that you make.
Yeah, because it's a different kind of friend.
Yeah, my bus friends didn't leave the bus, but it sounds like Mike ended up being your friend outside of the bus.
The story's kind of strange because around third grade, or second grade, third grade, I was sitting with 2 kids, and eventually one older kid just he got on before me, maybe a couple stops before, maybe 1 grade up, so in your grade, and then he started to take my seat. Ooh. And then I kind of walked over. I was like, can I have my seat back? And normally, or for the first few weeks, he'd move, but then it kind of got to the point he was like, no, I'm gonna stay here. And the kids I was sitting with were like, no, he's gonna stay here. Like, okay.
Oh.
I see how it is.
Whoa.
And then I was kind of looking around for another seat, and then there's Michael sitting by himself. Just chilling, looking at his, I think it was iPod or DS at the time or whatever. Okay. So I was like, okay, I know his face. I'm going to sit down and hang out with him. And I'm pretty sure, knowing Michael's personality, he probably wasn't like, oh my God, it's a new kid I can be friends with. Or like, oh my God, I haven't seen this kid in forever. He was just like, huh, someone's trying to sit with me.
Yeah.
So it wasn't like an instant hit off kind of thing.
Yeah.
But obviously, eventually we hit it off and became pretty good friends. And then later that year, the older kid and one of the kids that I was sitting with ended up in the back of the bus. And they had like this little MP3 recorder.
Yeah.
And they started to make a podcast. And then
that was a thing?
Yeah. Well, no, it was literally just the two of them, just in the back of the bus, and they were just saying really stupid stuff, like making news stories about stuff that wasn't actually happening. But eventually, I started talking with those two again, and they were like, "Come on, join the podcast." I'm like, "Okay." So I sat with them one bus ride. I'm like, "Okay, this was fun, but I want to go back and sit with Michael next time." They're like, "No. You want to be part of the podcast, you have to sit here every single time you're on the bus."
What a weird dynamic school had.
So I was like...
because I believe all this. It makes so much sense.
It was so stupid.
People being like, no, you got to stay here.
Like, we're acting like it's big business when we're in third grade,
like
fourth grade. But, obviously I was like... I was tempted, not going to lie, because it seemed like something cool to do.
Yeah.
But I was friends with Michael, and I wasn't just going to ditch him.
Yeah. Just
to be part of a podcast. So I was like, you know what? Bye.
Which is surprising, because sometimes in school, certain kids, even though they're on the, like, quote-unquote evil side, you'll give up everything. You'll be like, all right, I'm going to do this podcast. Yeah. And you'll give up friends that could have been great, but instead...
kind of weird to think about, because
you made that great friend.
It's a really mature decision to make for like being 9 years old.
Yeah. Dude, it's crazy, because throughout school you always feel mature.
Yeah.
And then when you look back, you're like, whoa, I was not mature.
Yeah, we weren't mature.
It's even weird to think about teachers, because you're like, wait a second, that person is a full-grown adult that has a full-grown brain.
Yeah.
And they're around these little kids who are acting all stupid and like trying to act like they're mature. The teacher's probably like, it would be probably fun to be an elementary school teacher, because all day you're probably just laughing in your head like, dude, this is the weirdest little Lord of the Flies looking thing.
Yeah, I know that.
Like, what is happening?
Like 1 second they all just turn on each other.
The loudest kid is just like the leader.
Yeah,
the loud guy. He's like, hey, I want to draw on the board. Everyone's like, okay, we all draw on board now.
Did you ever have a kid in your class that would like make shadow puppets with the projector?
Oh my god, I did that for a little bit.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't remember any specific kid who did it, but I remember that was fun. Like, because we lived in a generation where it wasn't fully all technology yet.
Yeah.
It obviously became that. But we had, at the start, we had like those light projectors where you turn on the light and they slide the sheet.
Yeah, no, like the OG projectors that they had in classrooms, like the clear sheets. And then they would just use like a marker on that.
Yeah, like we had box TVs, we had clear sheets. It wasn't all technology, but
no, it totally wasn't.
It was pretty early when the flat screen started popping up, and you'd be like, "Oh, wow!"
Thinking about it, like you realize how common flat screens are nowadays, right?
Yeah.
Like you can get one for $100 easily at Walmart.
Yeah.
But there's this one Drake and Josh episode where they were like talking about getting a plasma TV, but they weren't just saying a plasma screen TV, a plasma flat screen TV. And all of the TVs nowadays are flat screen. So it's like a TV is a flat screen TV. You don't get box TVs anymore. But it used to be a difference. Like you had a regular TV, like big one, the kind you touch it and then your hair would get like all staticky and stuff.
Yeah, dude.
And now it's just like kids don't even grow up with that anymore.
Dude, I could talk about this all day. Like the fact that like our generation, all the technology, and then I think of my parents' generation who I don't even think they had TVs when they were originally like were born, and this then you think of grandpa's generation, like holy crap. Like if Libby keeps barking, we can just cut it out. But if she doesn't, alright, wait, we'll cut this out really quick and start in a second. Let me just let her out so it doesn't keep barking. Cut it out, but we're back. Yeah. And what I was about to say was when we went to Florida, Grammy humbled me with a story. Like, so I was talking about how we have our own rooms now. We put up that wall and made it so we could finally have our own room. So I was like, wow, we have our own room. So I was like, Grammy, it's so nice to have our own room. Like, I had to share a room with Max for like 18 years. Like, that's a long time. And she was like, yeah, well, I had to share a bed. I was like, oh crap.
Dude, Grammy
I got humbled quick.
Like, they had 9 kids living in the same house.
Yeah, and they shared beds. One of them wet the bed, like things like that.
Well, they didn't have any parents, like, by the time Grammy was, like...
I know.
9 or something like that. So, it was the older kids bringing up the younger kids, which was just mad crazy.
Yeah.
I think the mom was something to do with alcoholism, and I know the dad died pretty early on.
So the dad, I think it's the dad died early, and then the mom remarried or re-got with someone, and they had the
second batch.
The second batch, which unfortunately all passed away, but they had them. So they had a lot of kids in the house, and Auntie Pauline, one of the oldest one.
It was Auntie Pauline.
Yeah, she was like mom mode, I think.
Yeah, essentially. Like, you look at her compared to, like, everyone else, you can kind of see it because she's, like, the role she took on definitely changed her because she's definitely the most serious out of all of them.
True, dude. That is so true, thinking about it now.
Like, Auntie Linda was,
she was just a serious person, but now I realize that it's because she had to grow up real quick.
Exactly. Auntie Linda was, like, one of the younger ones, so obviously she's more of, like, the ball buster type.
Yeah. And then Grammy's really nice.
Yeah.
Dude, it's weird. It's weird. That's a whole... Dude, there's so many tangents when you're just talking. Like, that's a whole nother tangent. Is how people develop is crazy. Yeah. And who they become. But, like, basically the point, too, is that, like, generations have really changed. Our childhood, I think... I mean, everyone probably says this, but we're like... Our childhood is probably the last good one, but who knows? I don't know. I just feel like our childhood was the last one with technology. That's 100% true.
Well, we had like a balance.
Because we had technology, but it wasn't something that distracted you. We didn't have an iPod when we were 5.
Yeah.
An iPad when we were like 5 or even younger. I was out making snow forts out on the street. I was rolling through the neighborhood with everybody. Like, my neighborhood had all those kids. We were chilling.
Yeah, no, I remember that.
We were never just sitting on the computer.
Dude, we would all get together. And we'd, like, have RPGs. Max would come up with a story, and we're pretty much just making pretend.
You just pretend. Your whole brain took you on to so many crazy places. And there's obviously that funny story we always go back to, where we tried to dig a hole in the backyard.
Our
decision was, so we live in different towns, and he lives a state away. It's like 30 minutes.
Yeah, it's like half an hour.
That's the idea. It's 30 minutes away. We thought we could dig a hole from my house to your house, and it was made so much sense. In the moment, it was like, all right, it's gonna be this huge tunnel. We'll have one part in the middle that's like a meeting space. We'll have like stuff in there.
We'll have a couch. We'll have a TV. We'll be able to play video games.
Yeah, you'll chill in there, and then we'll go back. Oh my god, it made so much sense.
And the thing was, like, our logic was pretty much just like, the only thing making it half an hour is traffic. Yeah. So if we walk, it's gonna go so much faster underneath it in a tunnel.
It was the weirdest thing, but it made so much sense.
Yeah.
Like, nothing was denying it. It was just like,
dude,
we're gonna dig this hole, and we got about 4 feet. No, not even.
No, we got like
3 feet down.
Yeah, something like that.
And that's it. There was just a hole in the backyard until we moved to this house. And we filled it up with dirt, and that's that. That was all.
Pretty much.
Because
we got older. We were like,
and a lot of dreams.
This isn't gonna work out, is it?
There's a lot of dreams. Yeah. It's a great dream, though.
Dude, that old house was something else.
Yeah, I really believe it.
Do you remember when we'd play like hide and seek or tag or whatever, or like even just when we were messing around? You had the gate between the front and the backyard on the left, the metal gate.
Yeah.
Right on the left, there was like...
From the front?
No, like coming from the backyard.
Back of the house?
Coming from the backyard.
So near the shed and crap?
Yeah.
Okay.
Do you remember that little spot that you could hide in?
Yeah, it was like a little cavern.
Yeah, exactly. And we'd pretend it was like a house and stuff.
It's kind of sad because I don't remember it that well right now.
Really?
Kind of making me sad. I can't like picture it. I remember the idea of it.
Think what happened.
But I wish I could be back.
The metal fence was like around the edge of your yard, and it just kind of grew over the fence.
Yeah.
So then it just kind of made like that little cave. We pretend we were like that was a wizard hut or whatever.
Yeah, dude, it was so great. Like, I personally highly enjoyed my childhood. Very grateful for it. And Hayden made the joke on last podcast that he said if he's not successful, he's going to blame his parents for not giving him enough trauma. Because the joke is, like, you have to go through some tough stuff and to make it and all that stuff. And
what's the, there's a phrase for it.
Just like hard times make hard
troubled people are usually the most, talented. Yeah. Or all troubled minds are talented.
Yeah. But at the end of the day, I mean, we all have our troubles, and we all have our things we can be grateful for.
Yeah.
You just gotta be a hard worker, and don't let the cushion that brought you up be
your downfall.
A cushion. Don't let it be like a cushion.
Yeah.
There's no lying down on that cushion. You get up, you walk away from the cushion, you make your own life, and you do your own
because, like, that's
stuff.
pretty much a comfort zone. Like, that's a cushion that you start off on.
Yeah, and that's...
But then, once you learn how to stand up and walk around, like, that's when you move from the cushion, and like you said, you start making your own life.
Yeah, unless you were born rich or born in a really good situation, then you have to, like, get away from comfort. Discomfort is the only way to find real success.
Even, like, being born rich, I feel like there's still some, like, skills that you have to teach where you can't, like, if I was rich, I wouldn't give my kids, like, a million things.
Yeah, like, no, it's true. The kids who are born rich, they don't always have a good life because it's so easy for them that they don't learn anything from it. So at the end of the day, you really just have to you got to go through discomfort. Hard work is those nights and days and times when you really are pushing the extra mile, because, like, there's all those people, especially this generation, or at least I've heard a lot in this generation, is that people give up so quick that it's just sad.
That's because our attention spans are so short.
Yeah, but if you want to be something, if you want something, you got to put in that extra
mile. Dude, you work hard, because
there's no excuse.
I ever tell you the story about how I made, like, a grown man cry one time when I was, like, 12 years old?
No.
So...
Are you sure he was a man? No, I'm just kidding.
Yeah, no. So I was 12, and this was, like, a couple years after I cut my arm open. There.
Yeah.
And, the first year I went to Yagu, I didn't get my swim test because, like, my right arm was still weak and I couldn't really, like, swim.
Use it.
Next year, what was it? I think we were at Sequosin up in, it was either in Connecticut, down in Connecticut, or up in New Hampshire. I don't remember where it was, to be completely honest, but regardless, I went to do my swim test again and I failed, so I was down in, like, the bottom swim class. Okay. But then I was working my butt off, like, in that class, because everyone else there was just kind of, like, learning how to swim so that next year they could get the badge. I was like, no, I'm still going to get the badge this year. I'm going to get out of this class and work my way up to, like, the actual red and blue swimmer tag. So finally, after, like, halfway through the week, or not halfway through, like, 2 days of being in that class, I took the swim test again, passed, ended up in the swimming merit badge.
Yeah.
And then I was like, okay, I'm going to catch up to everybody else now. I made up all the work that I lost in those 2 days, like, by myself, either at the waterfront or, like, if it was questions, I filled out a packet back at the campsite. And then there was, like, this 6 lap thing where you have to do, like, 6 different swim styles. And one of the swim styles, I guess when we were doing that, I messed up on again. Even though everyone else was, like, doing a really crappy job, apparently he noticed me. So I didn't pass that requirement again. I was like, okay, that's tough, but I'm going to come back in my free time and do it again. And I came back in my free time and I did it again. And I think I passed that time. Or, no, first time I went to do it, there was thunder and lightning outside. So they closed the waterfront down. Next time I went there, that's when I did it and that's when I passed. And then by the end of the week, literally, the guy was talking about how pretty much everyone was going to be getting a green card instead of a blue card because, like, I guess nobody finished the merit badge. I was the only kid that got that merit badge that year in that whole class.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
I remember the swimming merit badge was different.
Yeah, and then...
It humbled you. It was like, whoa,
dude,
this is a hard merit
Do you remember having, like, to swim down, like, 12 feet, grab a handful of dirt, and then swim back up?
Yeah.
That's like military stuff that you make you do.
Kinda.
Like,
if you think about it now, it's like 12 feet is not that hard.
Okay, well, yeah.
But for the kids, dude, overall, that merit badge was different. It was cool. I remember I had the morning class, so the water was super cold. It was different. It was like, whoa, this is a legit merit badge. Like, this is legit. As a kid, it was legit.
Oh, yeah. Wait.
And then...
There's still a little bit more to the story I just remembered.
Oh, yeah.
I got an award because of that at the end. Just ending it quickly. And then after I got back home, one of my scoutmasters called my mom, was crying. He was like, dang, your kid really did good this week.
Yeah.
Like, I didn't have any free time that week because I was just working on merit badge stuff. And, oh yeah, I was also ranked behind everyone else. And I got all of those requirements in that rank done in that week too.
Yeah, I mean, it's a great lesson, and it's something you can use as an antidote as you move on and keep doing things. It's like, oh, I can get swim merit badge, I can do anything, you know. But yeah, I mean, like, it's true that, like, people, I don't know, I can't talk for people. We just all have to work hard if you want stuff. But
yeah,
you know what's funny is that we went off on so many tangents. I still want to bring it back to the point of what your first mindset on college was, that it was pretty real. It's like, wow, I'm going to college. But what's happening now? Like, how do you feel about going to college?
At that point, I had, like, literally been to the campus one time when I was 12 after a camping trip in Scouts. Because my dad went to UMass Amherst too. He was like, yo, you want to see the college I went to?
Yeah. I was
like, sure. And then we drove like an hour there, checked it out, and then 2 hours back home. And it was a rainy day, so I didn't really get to see too much.
Yeah.
And that's the only memory I had of it. And I knew I was going there, but like, it was very fuzzy trying to figure out, like, gauge stuff compared to like what it was actually going to look like. So I was like, okay, I'm gonna try to, like, I know there's gyms there, pools and a bunch of stuff, so I'm gonna try to work out.
Yep. I'm good.
Yeah. I'm going
you know me.
Yeah.
I support that like crazy.
I'm not gonna be playing a lot of games or just spending a lot of time in my room. I'm gonna be spending pretty much most of my time trying to do things productive.
Yeah.
Like clubs, like film stuff, and even if I'm not doing that, like, I don't know, reading books.
Yeah.
Just keeping my mind active so that it just doesn't slow down.
It's definitely going to be an experience. College, I've never been in it, so I don't know what it's actually like, but, like, it seems like a good time. It seems like, what would you call it? Like a developing time. Like, a lot of people, they go to college one person, they leave a different person, you know?
Yeah.
So it's going to be cool. My tip, I don't know. This is, like, the tip of someone who's like into business and crap, is like network and stuff, like meet people and know their name, remember what they do, and remember them later so you can make things happen.
Well, I actually, right now, I don't know what I'm gonna do with it, but I have a whole like social media thing set up.
Yeah.
For like channel, Instagram. That's pretty much it, but I have like a link tree too for that stuff that I set up. And I made a logo, and I think I just got a channel banner off of like Google search or whatever.
Yeah.
But that's for like when I want to do something. The second I want to do it, it'll be planned out. It's already ready. It's going to go live like that.
Oh, cool.
But I have no idea what I'm going to use that for.
Yeah.
I'm thinking about putting my graduation speech on there, the video that you and I made. But I don't know if like... We'll kind of see if that's what I want to do with it. Yeah.
And so, like, that's actually a good point, too, is, unfortunately, I didn't get to go to your graduation, which I wanted to go, but what was it like being able to talk in front of your class and all that?
Strange.
Yeah.
It was very, like...
And it was, we can, like, place a date on this. It was after all this COVID stuff, and we're still in the COVID stuff. Yeah. But things were getting back again. Now
it's like
now they're getting a little tighter again, but it was like this thing where school had been so weird that year. So I bet talking in front of your class, obviously I can't talk for you, was kind of surreal and like felt a different type of energy because of the weird year we had.
Yeah.
Like if it was just a normal graduation, you had a normal year of school, kids probably would have sat there just like, oh, like whatever, like when they gonna call my name. But since it was after COVID, like, I bet kids were, like, listening, and I bet, like, people felt more from it because of this weird time.
Well, yeah. Well, I think...
I don't know. I wasn't there. What did it feel like?
I was the only one that didn't bring up COVID, I think, in my speech.
Well, that's good. You don't have to bring it up.
It was kind of strange, like you said. It's the first time everyone's, like, been, like, in a fully... Like, the stands were packed.
Yeah.
There was no limit as to how many people you could have for like the first time in a year and a half.
Yeah.
And no one had masks on, so we were all outside. So it felt normal.
Yeah.
Which was like really cool. And it was a really hot and sunny day, and I was just trying to have a good time too, trying to like relax myself because I
like
knew
be
it was
in the
gonna
moment.
because I knew it was gonna be kind of a serious situation once I got up there.
Yeah.
So when I went there, most other people would have been like wearing nice clothes. Even if it was hot, they would have been like wearing nice shorts and a nice shirt.
Yeah, I know.
I showed up. Did I tell you what I was wearing?
No.
I was wearing I think some basketball shorts, a sleeveless like the USA tank top you and I have, and then a Hawaiian shirt.
Oh my god.
And then
to your graduation?
Yeah, that's what I had underneath
classic.
my whole robe.
Classic.
Obviously I didn't end up doing it, but I thought it would be funny. Just like, I think it's a little hot and unzip my robe. It's just like a Hawaiian shirt.
Yeah, that would have been classic.
Yeah, no, but I didn't end up doing that.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think my friend Brody, and my friend Ethan did that too. I think that's why where the idea came from. Yeah.
Yeah.
But so yeah, that kind of like got me to relax a little bit. I didn't think that I would be giving a speech at graduation. I heard that there was going to be a speech submission thing.
Yeah.
And I was like, I have this thing that I just made a TV project out of. And my buddy Tyler, when I played him the video,
yeah,
he was like, wow, I think you should, he told me about the graduation thing. He was like, I think you should tell it, at graduation. I'm like, okay, I'll think about it. And then at the same time, so a little bit of a tangent, this was at a senior showcase, and all of the different senior projects were in the gym. And being in TV class, we had this TV in the corner of the room that was playing each person's senior projects and stuff. My senior project wasn't really that good because of COVID, I didn't really try too much. Yeah. If I'm being completely honest, because it's not even really an excuse. I should have put effort into it because it could have came out really good. The storyline was kind of interesting, but
the vibes were just weird.
I would leave school early every day for my because that's when TV class was.
Yeah.
And because I had all of my assets on my computer at home, and I would say I was editing on my computer at home.
Yeah.
And I was editing some of the time.
Yeah.
Not a lot of the time, but some of the time.
Yeah.
And I had some good naps in that time, but don't tell my parents.
Yeah, dude.
They might see this, but that's future Cameron problems.
Yeah.
But so that project didn't turn out good, and I think when I remembered about the senior showcase and I realized that we were supposed to be in their person and that it was due for that time, I rushed editing the project with the little stuff I had.
Yeah.
So there was supposed to be special effects and music and all that. It was literally just a rough cut of the videos and stuff. Yeah. So this one shot where it's supposed to be my friend Kaylee with a Nerf gun shoots a Rubik's Cube. It's supposed to disappear or levitate. She just pulled the trigger and it was just still there in the shot. And everyone that was watching in the senior showcase was like, isn't there something supposed to be there? I'm like, yeah. And they had assumed that I was going to be really good in TV because they had heard a bunch of stuff and I had gotten some awards from it. So they're like, okay, this is kind of weird.
Hype train.
Yeah. And then a bunch of those people walk away. And I'm like, Mr. Nardozzi, my TV teacher, that really isn't that good. Could we play my graduation, my last call video?
Oh, okay.
So I put that in there too. And that's when my friend Tyler saw it, and I got a bunch of the people that were watching it that were kind of disappointed by the first one to come back and say, no, this is what I actually do. This is a better representation of the work that I make. And Kaylee, when she saw it, cried, was sobbing. She was like, why do you make it so sad? I'm like, that's not trying to make it sad. That's just trying to be a little deep.
Yeah, it's real deep, you know.
Yeah.
And it's just a good little thing in general to be whoa, I talked to my graduation.
Yeah.
That's cool to have as a life thing. Not almost nobody gets to do that. Think about how many kids are usually in a class.
I wouldn't have even thought about it, but
yeah. So it's pretty awesome.
A lot of people seem to like it. One of my friends that I hadn't really talked to that year because of COVID. I was never really wicked close with him, but we were chill. Marley Carnes, the kid that used to play football with. He came up to me after after I gave the speech, after everything was done. It was like, dude, that was really deep. I wasn't paying attention to anyone else's speech, but
yeah. See, that's what I was thinking. I felt your speech definitely would catch some ears.
Yeah.
Because just the energy that was going on at that time, and hearing your speech or hearing the video and helping you make that video, I was like, yeah, that's gonna be legit.
And I didn't tell my parents or anyone in my family.
Yeah, so you surprised everyone.
Yeah, I did.
Dude, I'm gonna be annoyed for the rest of my life just because I didn't get to go to that. But at least I got to go to your Eagle thing, and then also we had that celebration the other week.
I'll get famous just so I can bring you to one of the award shows.
Yeah.
Or whatever. Goal. You know?
Yeah.
Wherever big I end up.
Yeah.
You're gonna be there next to me. I'll be like, this.
And then you can look back at this time capsule.
Yeah.
The time capsule.
Before it all happened.
Yeah, dude. I mean, I love this whole podcast because it's just been really fun, and I've only done 3, but I know I'll get to do plenty more. I want to do one with Henry, and we could do more in the future too. I just want to do it because it's super fun. You just talk and you just enjoy it.
Yeah.
But a couple other things, before we started, we were talking about in my room about I had the goals written down, and you asked me a question. I said we'll talk about it in the podcast, and I guess we can talk about that, which is basically, I don't know exactly what the question was.
It was
about goals,
how did actually setting those goals
oh yeah,
how did it actually change your mindset?
So, I mean, the past, especially the pandemic and all the past couple of years, even before the pandemic, I started a fitness journey, and then I started just a journey of just it sounds corny, but bettering myself and figuring stuff out, you know?
Yeah.
As you get older. So I was just figuring things out, and one of the main things that always comes up when you hear it from anyone who's successful, I've heard it from random boxers, I've heard it from the Elon Musks of the world, I've heard it from just random comedians, all across the vast majority of successful people. A lot of them just dig in the point that they all set goals, and that's what's really helped them. A good point is Tyson Fury, who was a championship boxer. He had set the goal to become a heavyweight champion, but he got the heavyweight championship and had no goals after that, and actually got depressed. So he learned from that depression. He dug himself back out of the hole, became a champ again. He learned from that because it was a deep depression. He was in a bad place. He learned that setting goals all the time, short-term, long-term, whatever you got to do, is important to not let you get into a space where you feel like you're lost and you feel like there's nothing to do.
Mm-hmm.
If you always have a goal, then you'll be able to capitalize on things and keep moving at all times. Right now my goal is the ultra race, and I have goals after that, and I'm hoping they go well, because that ultra race is going to be a big moment for me, because I've been training for months now. And if I end that ultra race, come home, and then don't do anything for a couple of days, I'll probably not be happy, because I'll be like, holy crap, what else do I have to do? Luckily, I've set goals, so I can then
you still have something
all right,
to do after.
100's over, now I have to do this, now I have to do that, you know?
You always feel like you have a purpose when you're doing it that way.
Yeah, exactly. So you always have to have goals, which is always important. And that's just what I got that's what my mindset was basically just hearing it from so many people, just to set goals. That's what I started doing, was setting goals.
Yeah.
So, I mean, that's just one of the tactics. There's plenty of tactics.
I think one of my main problems recently is I don't know what kinds of goals I even want to set. I've been thinking of what direction I'd want to go in, but I'm still thinking so big, so far ahead that I don't even know I'm trying to guess what's beyond the horizon when I'm not even I don't even know what the horizon is.
Yeah, basically what you can do is you can break down a long-term goal into other short-term goals to get to that one, you know?
Mm-hmm.
So
mm-hmm.
I guess you just have to find little things that you can do. Even if it's just building habits. So one of the things I've been working on recently is building little habits, and that's always important. I heard somewhere that doing something for 90 days is usually a good amount of time to build the habit, and then it'll be more of a normal thing instead of something you have to consistently think about.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if it works yet, because I haven't done anything for 90 days. I mean, I've done things for 90 days, which are already my habits.
Well, yeah.
But now I'm trying to build new ones.
Yeah.
So it's building habits is good, setting goals is good. You just gotta, at the end of the day, be happy. Because I'm trying to think about what really like, I think life is a lot simpler than people make it, and the only reason they stress is because they make it so complex. If you live a simpler life and enjoy simple little things, I think it's easier to be happy. So, like, the main idea is, like, just take it easy on yourself, but don't like lie around, do nothing. Just don't over stress everything, because this is dark, but it could end any second, you know.
Yeah.
Anything could end. I could get in the car later and then get in a crash, and then it's all over.
Well, actually.
But at least,
yeah,
I'm happy with what I've been doing, and I've enjoyed doing little things like making this podcast, you know. I guess this is another mindset to have too. If you live life every day like it's your last day, then if you're happy with that, then if you somehow had your last day, at least you were happy.
You'd be happy with the way your life was.
Which is easier said than done, but it's true. I mean, try to live every day pretty happy. Try to be happy with yourself every day. And if you're not happy with yourself, I mean, there's gonna be days where you're not happy with yourself. And I'm young, so I don't have all the answers to that. There are gonna be days where you're just like in the pits.
Mhm.
So, hopefully that's not your last.
No, yeah. I hope not.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know. I've been thinking about that recently because Mike's grandfather or his Vavu or Avu and Vava got into a car accident the other day.
Yeah. And
or
we
like
actually, our
Wednesday.
uncle, he got in that motorcycle accident.
Well, no,
recently.
yeah.
A lot of things just
yeah,
happened.
Uncle
man.
Derek.
Yeah.
But his Ava died in that accident.
Yeah.
They were in like a regular sedan, and it was a trash truck that came and T-boned them because they accidentally went through a stop sign.
Yeah, it's terrible.
And thinking about it though, he had dementia and didn't really want anybody looking after him. Like, he wanted to still be able to self-sustain. Even,
yeah, like he had pride.
Yeah, he had pride. And it was getting to the point where mentally, like, he wasn't there, but he at least recognized that he wasn't, like, happy with... He was starting to have, like, accidents and stuff, I guess.
Yeah, yeah.
Which is, like, just sad once you get older, but,
Yeah, for real.
Just, like, if that were me, obviously being in his position, like, you feel bad because, like, you don't have full concept or awareness of the situation, but you know what's going on isn't good and it's not what you want. And you try to rectify the situation as much as you can. Like, his wife, Mike's Vava, would, like, clean him up, and he would be like, no, I want to clean myself up, but he was obviously, like, incapable of cleaning himself up, which is just kind of sad. But yeah, back to the point, thinking about that, it's like, you definitely want to fill the time you have with just experiences that you want to have had.
Yeah, I mean, it's so true, because at the end of the day, dude, like, I think a lot of people were like, I can't do that. Like, I don't have the time, I don't have the money, I don't have this, I don't have that. That's not true at all. You can make things happen if you're dedicated enough. If I want to travel for the rest of my life, I could do that right now, because I'm going to make it happen. You know what I mean? I don't have all the money in the world to do that right now, but I'll make it happen. Like, I'm not going to say, no, I'm not going to do that. I'll literally do it. I'll use every penny to go to this place, to go to that place, and then I'll find a job at that place, work there until I can go to the next place. People who have too many excuses and they have too many standards, they're thinking, I have to do this, I have to do that. Not everything has to be so conventional anymore. We live in this new world where everything's so great, all this technology. So use it, utilize it, you know?
Yeah, like if...
Live the life you want to live.
If life is easier nowadays, then actually should prove that it's easier, you know?
Yeah. Like, just do what you want to do. Like, just do it.
But if anything, you know how you were telling me about Catch Me If You Can the other day?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I watched that.
Did you watch it, dude?
Yeah,
that
no,
movie's
I watched
fire.
it. And
you gonna start writing fraud checks?
No. But, like, just thinking about this kid, his parents were divorced, and he just was like, you know what? I'm gonna just go out there and do exactly what I want.
Yeah.
And although it wasn't legal...
Yeah, it wasn't legal.
Even, like, in the smallest bit, he was 16, and he was so good at what he was doing.
He's a real human.
Yeah.
He's still alive.
No, yeah.
Guy,
but, like, all this happened before he was 19 years old. Like, younger than us.
He's crazy.
And... Like, if he was 16 when he started, And they said that he was so good at like the checks for whatever.
Yeah, like knowing
Pan Am Airlines, I think it was. He wasn't like counterfeiting checks. He was like making real checks.
He was crazy. He was awesome. And
then he became a doctor, and then he passed the bar exam.
Yeah, and then in the movie, Tom Hanks is like, "How'd you do it?"
Yeah.
"How'd you do it?" He's like, just studied."
I just studied for 2 weeks.
Because at the end of the day, that's a funny line, and also it's sadly true that I bet certain exams in life that people stress about aren't that hard if you actually have dedication.
Dude, yeah, but
like if you actually care for about 2-3 weeks, if you really care enough, you probably can learn enough to figure stuff out.
Yeah, but also he had some massive like intelligence.
Yeah. The real guy is crazy.
Like not just your everyday schmo could go out and just do that.
Yeah.
But I agree with the dedication bit, because like if he didn't, he could have just gone back home and been like, you know what, I'm not going to do any of this.
Yeah, dude.
And I think a lot of people like have the capability of doing that.
Yeah.
But like you said, they just don't have the dedication or the right mindset to put in the work.
No, here's a good example is that throughout my youth and school and all that, I wrote myself out as not a math person. So every day I'd be like, I'm not that good at math. Who cares about math? I'm not good at math. And I always tell myself, I'm not good at math, not good at math, not good at math. If you keep saying something, it's going to become true.
Yeah.
But if I just took a second, if I had the mindset I had now, if I want to be good at math, I can be good at math. I could be the best at math if I want to, if that's the mindset you have.
That's the thing in psych called a self-fulfilling prophecy.
Yeah.
You tell yourself something's going to happen, it's going to happen that way.
Yeah, so you can't write yourself out of things. Like, you can't be like, I'm not good at this, I'm not good at that. Like, a lot of people are like, I want to learn a language so bad, and then they never do it because they don't actually, like, take the time to do it. And they write themselves off. They're like, I want to learn it, but there's no way my brain could work and make that work. That's not true. There's ways you can do it. It just takes dedication. It would take a lot more time, but it would be worth it if you really want to learn something.
It's pretty much just laziness. Because that's another thing, like, sad about technology is, although it helps us out a lot, it takes away a lot of our responsibilities. We don't have to like think as much as we used to.
Yeah.
We have a question, we can just look it up. We don't have to go to a library, study, or keep the memory or the information in our head so that we don't have to be looking back all the time.
We are so lucky to have the internet.
Oh, no,
but
totally.
Guess what? It can either be your worst enemy or your best friend.
No, yeah.
I've had it both ways. My YouTube algorithm used to be our worst enemy. I'd distract myself watching stupid videos for hours. Now I've decided, nope, I'm not doing that. I got a new YouTube, a new email, made a YouTube, and I'm making my algorithm work for me. That's something I talked about with Hayden the other day. You can make the algorithm work for you. You can make the internet work for you, because there's so much you can learn that you're never going to be able to learn.
Yeah.
There's books, there's articles, there's podcasts, all these things that people didn't get. These are all tools to make us become the best generation we ever, like the best people we can be.
Yeah, no, you can learn from all that.
Elon Musk, he learns from some people, probably mentors, himself, books, things like that. Now we can listen to Elon Musk talk, and then there's going to be someone who's better than Elon Musk someday because they listen to Elon Musk, learn so much from him, and then became themselves.
Yeah, totally.
Because of those resources that we have now. But then it also can be the worst enemy. It can be like, bro,
no, I
watch cat videos
totally agree
all
with
day.
that, because you look at that stuff and you can really take away a lot from it. Like,
yeah,
you can build off of it. You can, like you said, there's so many more resources that you can look to when you are trying to better yourself and build yourself up.
Yeah.
I think really the only point I think I was trying to make is that because technology is primarily about convenience, mentally we're so used to not having to put in the effort that when something requires a normal amount of effort, we just don't do it because we're just so used to getting like spoon-fed the rest of the stuff. But if you do take the effort that you would like dedicate yourself, put the amount of normal effort that you would put into everything else, doubled with all this information that you have on the internet, that's where you get like a lot of your results, like you were just talking about.
Yeah, man. And at the end of the day, this is something I say a lot when I talk about things. Is it's always easier said than done. Like everything is you can say things all you want, say. It's the people who do that actually get places. So I've been a sayer for a while, and I'm trying to transition into more of a doer these days. And I do some good things, and I say some things, but just make that action. You don't need to talk all the time. Just do things. So let's use this podcast and what we're talking about right now as a lesson, and use that internet to our benefit. Use our resources, But speaking of our resources, like, I'm into like boxing and martial arts right now. Like, back in the day, if you wanted to watch a fight, like a full fight, you either had to get a VHS, or you had to have the right person to know to see fights. You had to go live. Mm-hmm. Nowadays, the YouTube has so many fights. I can learn so much just from YouTube alone, and studying fights, studying moves, studying things like that people don't have. So if you use it to your advantage, you can become whatever you want and do so many great things. YouTube has everything. Internet has everything. You can find free books out there. There's no like excuses anymore. So that's why people make so many. They're like, oh, I don't have this, I don't have that. But at the end of the day, you have everything you need. Because I don't think there's many people out there who don't have a phone,
Yeah, no, pretty much everybody has a phone at this
point.
So
the phone is everything you need.
Kids have phones nowadays.
That's all you need. So, I mean, honestly, that's probably a good note to wrap up on. Is just the fact that we can do whatever we want. It's just about doing it and not letting things get in the way. Mm-hmm. Is there anything else you want to talk about? Anything else you want to capsulize in this moment in time to make sure
for future Cameron,
to look back
for future Cameron Martin?
Yeah, that should be something I say to my next guest. Is like, what do you want to say to your future self? Because this is a time capsule. Ooh, it's intense, actually.
I don't know. This is like writing a letter for like back in 5th grade, you write a letter for yourself, in high school or 8th grade or whatever. I don't know where I'm gonna end up. You can't really like predict everything exactly. You can try to like set yourself a path. Obviously, different branches are gonna present themselves on that path, and it's those choices you make on those branches that bring you in the direction that you end up in finally.
Dang, you just brought up another good point I want to address really quick before you say anything else. Is that make those plans, make those goals, but be good at adapting to things that throw a wrench in them.
Exactly. Yeah. And sometimes, like, on the other hand, a better opportunity might even present itself while you're going in that initial direction.
Yeah.
Like, let's say I wanted to become, like, I don't know, an announcer for, let's say, NASCAR or whatever.
Yeah.
I don't know why that would be a thing that I would want to do, but it's the first thing that came to mind. And let's say I work my butt off to doing that.
Yeah.
And eventually, like, I get my narrating skills up and, like, good, and then people start asking me to, like, come and, do podcasts and stuff.
Yeah.
And then I start narrating, like, other smaller stuff, like audiobooks or whatever. But then eventually you get, like, a gig to voice act.
Yeah.
And, like, a pretty big budget animated movie, but even if it's, like, a smaller part, it can still showcase your talents and what you're capable of.
Yeah.
And then you use that as a stepping stone, like, okay, it's a little bit higher up. It's not what I initially thought I was going to do, but I can still work myself up and be in a better position than
I know what you're saying.
Wanted to.
Like, you adapted from that original goal and then found another thing that you're passionate about.
Yeah. So, I don't know if that's, like, the best example.
Yeah.
But I think it gets the point across.
We got the point across.
Yeah.
Is that what future Cam needs to hear?
No, I don't know what future Cam needs to hear. Future Cam needs to hear... I don't even know if I'm in a position to be telling future Cam what to do.
Not what to do, but it's something you can look back and be like, okay, bud. He'll pat you on the back. You're like, yeah, all right, buddy.
Well, I think at this point, if you watch this far, you kind of get where you are mentally right now.
Yeah.
Life-wise, too. There's something I wanted to say is, like if I was talking to myself, it would just be like, just keep going. Yeah. That's pretty much like...
Simple as that.
That's something I would have told myself, like, now when I was a kid. That's kind of the hardest part, because there are going to be points in time where you just want to, like, drop everything, because things 100%. Are going to get really tough. I might watch this when I'm, like, in midterms or finals or whatever.
Yeah.
Just to be like...
Dude, good idea. Use this as motivation.
Yeah.
All right. That's the end. Keep going.
Keep going. Don't give up.
Later, bro.
Later, bro.
Thanks for doing the podcast.
Thanks for having me.